mecánicos o que proponen la integridad de otra persona. For example, in far too many instances, supporters have deemed it okay to yell a Spanish slur that starts with P at the opposing goalkeeper. That is completely unacceptable at our matches.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3.
Ah, ya. Ya me escuché. Ya me escuché.
Vale.
¿Ya nos dijeron que hiciéramos? Ya no te tengo que gritar para que me escuches. Aquí el problema es que te despeinas. Ya no. Es lamentable.
1, 2, 3.
Pato,
Many.
está bien dulce este melón.
Check,
Yep.
check.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We're here.
Hey, Gary, can you hear us? Got it. Check, check. Hello, everybody, and welcome New Mexico United doing battle with the Miami FC.
Check, check, mate, check. The Miami FC bringing the weather with them to the land of enchantment.
Señoras y señores, estamos en vivo desde el Estadio Río.
1, 2, 3, buenas noches, Manny, aquí estamos de regreso.
Who's that with Pete?
Ian McKinnon, he's one of the owners.
Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rio Grande Credit Union Field here at the Lab. It's a first-time matchup between 7th place, the Miami FC, and 4th place, New Mexico United. Pregame coming up. The 2022 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst. And Chris, it's going to be a humid one here tonight for a first-time battle between the black and yellow and the Miami FC.
Yeah, other than the elevation, I'm sure Miami feel very much at home with the weather tonight, that's for sure.
Lots to get into tonight. Let's go ahead and jump right into it here with tonight's Players to Watch, brought to you by NM Solar Group. Chris, and starting off first here with the home side, we're going to be keeping an eye on the 27-year-old Jamaican making his first start here at the Lab, the new signing, Romario Williams.
Yeah, first start overall, 25 goals in 2 different stints with Charleston Battery, 8 goals for the Miami FC in 2020. He'll be looking to stake a claim tonight with his first start.
On the other side, for the visitors, we're going to be keeping an eye on their number 9, the 29-year-old USL Championship journeyman from Red Hook, New York. It's Kyle Murphy.
20 goals last year for Memphis 901. Only 3 so far this season with 21 appearances, The Miami FC will be hoping that he's brought his shooting boots to the land of enchantment.
So we've got plenty to get into here tonight. We're going to step aside for just a moment, and we'll be back with lineups and kickoff on the other side of this.
Shop local and beat back inflation at American Home Furniture and Mattress. Save the sales tax or take advantage of 24-month financing on the largest selection of in-stock furniture and mattresses in New Mexico. Shop reclining furniture, bedroom, dining room, and more. Hot savings throughout the store. 3 ways to save: in-store, online, or by appointment.
You always get the best for less at American Home Furniture and Mattress.
Straight down and
Fans, let's welcome to the field our flag runners from the NB3 Foundation. The Nota Begay III Foundation is an award-winning Native-led nonprofit dedicated to Native American children's health. Guided by their mission of ensuring Native children achieve their full potential by advancing cultures of Native American community health, the NB3 Foundation invests in community-driven and culturally relevant programs that promote physical activity, healthy nutrition, cultural connections, and youth development. They are committed to a vision that children live healthy, happy, and fulfilled lives. Learn more about the NB3 Foundation at www.nb3foundation.org. Tonight's flag is being run in by kids from Duke City Dirt Devils 14U Club. Fans, let's hear it again for our NB3 flag runners. We want to acknowledge that we gather at Rio Grande Credit Union Field on the traditional land of the Tiwa people. We honor with gratitude the land of New Mexico and the people who stewarded it throughout the generations. This calls us to commit to continuing to learn how to be better stewards of the land we inhabit as well. We stand in solidarity with them. Fans, at this time, we would like to take a moment to remember 4 invaluable members of our community. Last month, a helicopter crash in Las Vegas, New Mexico, tragically took the lives of 4 New Mexican heroes. Fans, please join us in remembering Under Sheriff Larry Corin, Lieutenant Fred Beers, Deputy Michael Levinson, and Rescue Specialist Matthew King. Thank you.
Kickoff just moments away here at the lab. Tonight's match is presented by NM811. Don't forget to call 811 before you dig and save the day. Chris, let's jump right into the 11s tonight, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. This is how Zach Prince is choosing his 11 tonight. We see 4 changes from the side on Wednesday. Romario Williams, Jerome Kiesewetter, Daniel Bruce, and Rashid Tete getting the start tonight.
Yeah, some changes to try and spark this this home form, basically. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the new look front lineup works for New Mexico United today.
And on the other side for the visitors, this is how Anthony Pulis is going with his squad tonight. It's going to be Connor Sparrow between the sticks, Chapman Page and Paco Craig, the pairing in the back line. Expect to see Speedy Williams and Akinyote in the midfield, and top 2 Avalo and Kyle Murphy.
10 clean sheets so far this season for the Miami FC, 8 of them for Sparrow. It's really been at the other end of the field where they've struggled.
This is our Coaches Spotlight, brought to you by PNM. This is Zach Prince for New Mexico. In his first season at the helm of the Black and Yellow, made 162 appearances as a player, and he is previously the assistant coach for New Mexico. On the other side, Anthony Pulis. If that name sounds familiar, he is the son of famed soccer coach Tony Pulis from across the pond. He was an assistant coach for Inter Miami in 2020. He's been with the club since last season. These are our Garcia Automotive Group keys to the game for New Mexico. Keep an organized defensive line, create space in the final third, and respond to counterattacks decisively. Our injury report here brought to you by Ben Sherman Law. Injured at work. Ben Sherman can help. Just one name on the list there, Chris. Still Sergio Rivas making his way back from a lower body injury.
Cool.
Feels good? Yep.
Fans, please turn your attention to the screen as David Carl walks us through the chant of the match.
Hello, everybody, and welcome here to Rio Grande Credit Union Field at the Lab. It's East versus West here for the first time as New Mexico United playing host to the Miami FC. We're going to step aside. We've got pregame coming up in just a moment. The 2022 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. Welcome into the Lab. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst. And Chris, well, we've seen some rain here today. It looks like we're going to be lucky enough to kick off with just a slight delay.
Yeah, it looks like the Miami FC have brought a little bit of Florida with them today with the humidity and the thunderstorms. Hopefully it holds off though.
Lots to get into here tonight, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Let's have a look at tonight's players to watch, brought to you by New Mexico Solar Group. Starting off first, Chris, with the home side. We're going to be keeping an eye on the 27-year-old Jamaican forward, getting his first start at the Lab tonight. It's Romario Williams.
Yeah, 25 goals in 2 different stints with Charleston Barry, 8 goals for the Miami FC in 2020. He'll be looking to stake a claim in the starting lineup with his first start tonight and trying to force his way into Zach Prince's thoughts for the remainder of the season.
On the other side, for the visitors, well, New Mexico United fans, you may be familiar. It's your former striker, Romeo Parks. He leads the Miami FC in goals this season with 4 in just 19 appearances.
Yeah, unfortunately, starting on the bench today, but obviously it's the ex-player coming back to haunt the team that New Mexico United hope that he isn't.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back on the other side of this with lineups and kickoff.
Shop local and beat back inflation at American Home Furniture and Mattress. Save the sales tax or take advantage of 24-month financing on the largest selection of in-stock furniture and mattresses in New Mexico. Shop reclining furniture, bedroom, dining room, and more. Hot savings throughout the store. 3 ways to save: in-store, online, or by appointment.
You always get the best for less at American Home Furniture and Mattress.
Straight down into the core of the earth, 700 feet beneath the surface. Stalagmites and stalactites, million-year-old all-stars in a natural stadium, carved by water, populated by bats, and marveled by all. Carlsbad Caverns National Park.
Game time.
Tonight's match is presented by NM811. Don't forget to call 811 before you dig and save the day. Well, Chris, looks like we're just about ready to get into things here. Let's have a look at tonight's starting 11s presented by Michelob Ultra. Starting first with the home side. This is how Zach Prince is choosing his side tonight. 4 changes from the midweek clash on Wednesday. You're going to see Rashid Tete, Daniel Bruce, Romario Williams, and Jerome Kiesewetter getting the start tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the new look attacking lineup fares for New Mexico United. And obviously the last game on Wednesday was a pretty frustrating evening.
On the other side, for the visitors, this is how Anthony Pulis is choosing his team tonight. You're going to have Connor Sparrow between the sticks. Expect to see Chapman Page and Paco Craig in the back line. Akinyota and Speedy Williams in the midfield. And Valo and Kyle Murphy up top.
10 clean sheets so far this season for the Miami FC, 8 of those for Sparrow. That end of the field isn't really the problem. It's at the other end of the field. Can they get their offense going tonight?
So the Miami FC making the trip down to Albuquerque for the first time. These are our keys to the game, brought to you by Garcia Automotive Group. For New Mexico, keep an organized defensive line, create space in the final third to open attacks, and respond to counterattacks decisively. Let's have a look at our injury report, brought to you by Ben Sherman Law. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help. Still just the one name on the sheet there for New Mexico. It's Sergio Rivas, as he is making his way back from a lower body injury. You see some of the United faithful out here. That's United Mando out here tonight. Is not a bad night, I'd say, to perhaps have a little bit of extra protection, as we've been dealing with a little bit of rain on and off throughout the day, Chris.
Yeah, obviously a delayed kickoff. It's no secret, and we're just hoping that all these dark clouds around us keep us nice and cool, but don't bring any of the nasty stuff with it.
Well, the Miami FC, it's been 2 weeks since they've kicked off, having last played on July 23rd at Loudoun. So they're well rested. However, that match also delayed about a couple of hours before they were able to get going. So 2 in a row for Miami. So no big deal. It looks like Jerome Kiesewetter in the center circle, ready to get things started here. New Mexico in the home black Meow Wolf kits, and the Miami FC, of course, in their road light blues. We're underway here at the lab for the first time. New Mexico playing against the Miami FC. Kalen Ryden starts things off with Alexi Sawahi. It looks like it's a back three here today for Zach Prince, with Sawahi, Ryden, and Rashid Tete. Daniel Bruce, Harry Swartz as the wing backs. We're going to see Sam Hamilton, Chris Wehan, Justin Portillo in the midfield. So pretty traditional system from what we've seen from Zach Prince for the most part this season, Chris.
Yeah, for sure. It's he doesn't really like tinkering necessarily with the system. It's more those players, those pieces within that system and within the organisation. And yeah, he's going to hope that obviously Kiesewetter missed out on Wednesday due to a little knock. Good to see he's been able to run that off and get back for tonight. And a couple of little changes here and there, but as you said, system pretty much the same.
Back to Alexi Sawahi, the Comoros international. Chris Wehan finds Harry Swartz. Sawahi getting a handful of touches here throughout the first 70 seconds. Here goes Tete, it's the Ghanaian. Finds Justin Portillo looking for the run of Jerome Kiesewetter. Lofts one in, and Kiesewetter goes to ground looking to get a call as Paco Craig walks by and tells him to get up.
It was a little clumsy. I'd say, it's early on in the game, so you don't imagine something like that's going to be given, but it was definitely a little clumsy and a little warning shot for Miami there.
Paco Craig, the 29-year-old club captain out of London, spent time in the West Ham youth system. Of course, Paco Craig, you're a USL fan, you remember that name primarily from Louisville City. He played there for a handful of years, made 4 appearances in the USL Cup final, winning, of course, in 2017 and 2018. There's Craig sending that one away. Stanley looks to play the through ball forward for Velo, and it's cut out by Kalen Ryden. Florian Velo, the Frenchman, spent last season with FC Cincinnati, where he made 9 appearances. There's Velo feeding it through for Rivas. And Rivas wins a corner as he hits that one off Rashid Tete. So it's our first Bank of America corner kick of the evening. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking is just around the corner. It's going to be Valo to send this in. Spent his youth with PSG and Monaco. Made 27 appearances for the Monaco reserves. Below sends this one in near post, and it's headed away. Falls back to Speedy Williams. Segbers plays it forward now. Ballard, marked by Hamilton. And Ballard does well to squeeze out of a double team. Ballard's into the box. And the cross is played out by Justin Portillo.
Lovely little nutmeg there by Ballard. Just popped it through Hamilton's legs. Final ball lacking a little bit though, so a little let off from New Mexico United there, because that was really good stuff 1v1 there.
Richard Ballard out of Louisville, Kentucky. He too was on those teams with Paco Craig that won the USL Cups with Louisville City in 2017 and 2018. He didn't make any appearances in the final, but still integral part of this squad, especially in 2017. He was a 2017 Rookie of the Year finalist. If you're wondering who won that award, look no further than number 41 in black and yellow here tonight, Chris Wehan. So he won that playing for Reno 1868. New Mexico looking to take this Fiesta Auto Group free kick quickly. This is our PNM Coaches Spotlight. Zach Prince, the gaffer for New Mexico in his first season. He made 162 appearances as a player, USL champion with Charleston Battery. It's the Oklahoma native, Kalen Ryden. Here's Swartz, picked up by Segbers. Wehan is sunk deep into the middle of the pitch, looking to get a touch here, Chris, as Miami look very compact here defensively.
Yeah, and that's been the issue, right? Like New Mexico United on Wednesday night, over 60% of the possession. It wasn't keeping the ball that was the issue, it was being able to break down Sac Republic, so looking to do that right now.
Wehan looking to thread one through there for Kiesewetter. This gives us time to give you this 529 update, brought to you by the Education Plan, New Mexico's state-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com. So Justin Portillo out of New Orleans, Louisiana, heads over for this Bank of America corner kick. Portillo leads New Mexico in assists this season. Plays this one near post. There's Romario Williams that just missed the header. Throw in here for New Mexico. It's Sawahi. Immediately finds Swartz. Back to the Englishman, Daniel Bruce. Deflected. A generous deflection here for Chris Wehan. New Mexico just probing around the 18 here, Chris. Bruce, through ball for Swartz, and it deflects off of his face, and a bit unlucky there, Harry Swartz.
Yeah, that was very unlucky. It was, you can see New Mexico United being pretty patient in the build-up there, and like you said, the word you used, probing. And there you see, as soon as they try and inject a little bit of pace there, really unfortunate, the ball just pops up and just cracks Harry Swartz on the nose. Looks like he's got a little bit of blood coming there, so he's probably going to have to go off and get that stopped before he's allowed to continue.
Training staff out there for New Mexico. Harry Swartz being tended to. As you said, Chris, it looks like they have a bit of a bloody nose, so we'll get another look here. Replays brought to you by TLC Plumbing. TLC is the leader in New Mexico when it comes to home and business service needs, and yeah, no time to react there, unfortunately, for Harry Swartz, and that's tough.
Yeah, like you say, no time at all. I think it was Williams just popped the ball up in his face there. But what you love to see is the fact he just plays the ball into Daniel Bruce. Daniel Bruce, the opposite side wing back, the two wing backs combining there. And as soon as he plays the ball into Bruce there, he's on his bike trying to get in behind, trying to stretch the game. So you love to see that, quick tempo in the final third. Training staff out there for New Mexico. That's Samer
Mubarak and Matt LeClaire. And Harry Sports all doctored up, so stick a couple of cotton balls in there and get on with it, right?
I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do until it's soft. So, I mean, the one thing is obviously you want to make sure it doesn't get on his shirt and things like that, or else he'll have to leave the field. He'll have to leave the field anyway, but it'll be a little longer if he's got any of that on his shirt. Might come back with a numberless shirt, but yeah.
It's the other half of our Coaches Spotlight brought to you by PNM. This is Anthony Pulis for the Miami FC, and if you remember that name, it sounds familiar. Of course, his dad, Tony Pulis, famed soccer coach from across the pond. He's been an assistant with Inter Miami in 2020, and he started coaching the Miami FC last season. So Harry Swartz heads over to the fourth official as Connor Sparrow gets us back underway. Swartz looks like he'll be making his way back onto the pitch here momentarily. Header after header here, finally controlled by Miami, or was it? And eventually the foul is going to be called on Sam Hamilton as Akinyode goes down.
So that was both players pretty committed there, but the reaction, the Miami player, it seems that maybe Sam Hamilton had his studs raised a little bit. Referee called it straight away. He's obviously got a better view than we do. But it just looked like two players who were pretty committed. I didn't necessarily see anything too wrong in it. See, the ball's just bobbling around, and it's just really Hamilton's momentum more than anything forces him into the challenge there. He's maybe a little, whether he's a little high or the opposing player's already on the ground. Either way, it looks like he's fine to continue.
Akinyode making his 22nd appearance on the season for Miami. They're making 32 appearances for the club last year, scoring once. Here's Weehan. Finds Williams. Williams, this is Weehan now. Has it poked away, and Williams has a go. It's blocked. Swartz on the near side. Cuts it in and eventually plays it back out to Sawahi. And New Mexico, Chris, I feel like already looking a little bit more cohesive offensively than we saw on Wednesday.
Yeah, for sure. And you can see, obviously, already Chris Weehan very involved early on, which he's the spark. He's always been the spark, really, for New Mexico United over their existence. So getting the ball to him and as soon as he starts running at defenders, absolutely terrifies them.
Long ball looking for Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Bruce goes down in the box. And our official, Brad Jensen, waves it off and says no. And the crowd, well, are they yelling Bruce or are they yelling boo? I think this one could go either way.
I think they thought it was a PK. I don't. I think it was good defending. You could see Daniel Bruce, he tried to take the ball down there, realised he maybe didn't quite have the legs to get around the outside, and just kind of, flung himself to the ground essentially, and tried to buy one earlier on. But at the same point, that's a little warning shot for Bruce. He's got pace. He will look to try and get in behind. And if he has a better first touch, we know that he's not afraid to crack one.
Daniel Bruce scored 3 times last season for New Mexico. Yet to find his way onto the score sheet this year. Pardon me, he does have 1 goal this season. Here's Weehan, gets a touch. Kiesewetter still on. The German has it poked away. Back out to Swartz, who looks to play one into the box, and no issue on the one hop there for Connor Sparrow. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official matchball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at selectsportamerica.com. Select, league's choice, player's choice. Long ball here in New Mexico. We'll see that out. It's going to be a goal kick for Alex Tambakis. Tambakis in the orange strip here tonight. Typically see him in blue or green at home. However, clash a little too closely with Miami's kits.
Certainly not going to miss him tonight, are we? That is definitely orange.
Of course, New Mexico fans probably used to seeing a little bit of orange back in goal there as Cody Mizell, the former keeper, former #1 for the club, was infamously known as El Gato Naranja, which translates to the Orange Cat, a nickname given to him by the fan base here based on his athletic prowess, we'll say. But yeah, typically don't see Alex in the orange strip, so it's refreshing, I'd say.
I was going to make my French joke again there, but it didn't go over too well a couple of seasons ago, so I'll leave it alone.
It's a turnover there. Harry Swartz comes in to poke that away, and immediately Segbers comes in to take it right back. Tries a little give and go with Speedy Williams, and it's a throw in here for Harry Swartz. You can see the cotton ball stuffed up, looks like his right nostril. Swartz, talk about one player that started the season on fire and really has been lacking when it comes to scoring goals here recently.
Yeah, and it's a little, the little niggly injuries that he keeps getting, where it took him out of the team for a little while. But yeah, I mean, obviously, was it two goals in 2 games to start the season, and then yeah, picked up an injury, kept him out for a couple of games, and has struggled offensively since then. Playing on the left side today, obviously not his natural side, but more than capable.
Long ball looking for the Jamaican, Romario Williams, and it goes off the corner flag, and it's going to be out for a goal kick here. So I will say, despite the bad weather here throughout the day, again, a fantastic crowd here at the Lab as we typically see, and tonight's match sponsor, NM811, has generously handed out 5,000 clap banners here tonight. So providing a little bit more to what's already a raucous atmosphere.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're as excited as I am to see if Pulis can do it on a rainy night in Albuquerque. I've been dying to say that.
That was brilliant. I'll give you that one. I'll have to give you that one.
I'm sure I'm not the first person to say that.
Kiesewetter tries to chip this one forward, looking for Daniel Bruce. And a sublime ball there from the German, Jerome Kiesewetter. Bruce plays it into the 18. Swartz and Kiesewetter collide. Sawahi's header finds Segbers. Collision in the midfield. Justin Portillo down as we've got some score updates for you. Legion putting up a 4 spot on Atlanta, 73 minutes into that one. Loudon picking up a win over Los Dos at home after LA Galaxy 2 making the cross-country trip. There we see halftime, 9:01 leading Hartford Athletic 2-1. It's Justin Portillo is looked at.
Yeah, this is looking a little worrying, the reaction of everyone. It looks like he's going to have to be subbed. I think he fell very awkwardly, maybe on his shoulder there, maybe popped out. It was let's say it was a tangle of arms as they both kind of jostled for position. And based on the reaction of Caelan Ryden there, he showed some immediate concern for his teammate there.
So you have a look, and it looks like it might have been the elbow that got trapped underneath.
Yeah, you see as he's stretching across there, his arm gets trapped underneath Murphy there, and yeah, that doesn't look good at all. And like I say, the reaction of the players and the staff, the concern immediately shown, yeah, that doesn't look good at all, unfortunately.
So unfortunately for Justin Portillo, it looks like his night is probably done as New Mexico, well, let's see, Kiesewetter checking on his teammate there. Looks to be okay.
I see, it's weird because, like I say, I thought maybe it was his shoulder, but he looks like he's walking kind of gingerly there. Yeah, and having to be obviously walking off under his own power is great. It's great to see that. But yeah, fingers crossed.
So we take a look here at the upcoming schedule for New Mexico. They're going to make the trip out to the West Coast to take on Los Dos here coming up. And despite what that says, it's actually going to be an 8 p.m. kickoff here in Albuquerque. So upcoming also, we're back here at the lab in just a couple of weeks. A Saturday, Wednesday affair once again, as we did this week with Memphis and Monterey Bay, each making their first trips out to the lab. And I got to say, this East-West, it's really cool, not only for us, obviously, up here getting to see these other teams that are coming in from across the country, but also that was something that Zach Prince, who's obviously very fired up, but that was something that Zach Prince had touched on in the midweek press conference, how great these East-West matchups are.
I think it was what everyone was craving after the last couple of years, where everyone's going, the smaller subgroups within the conferences. You felt like you were playing the same opponent every other week, so being able to see some of these teams, like I say, having the Miami FC come into town, we have Charleston, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Indy 11, all these different teams. And there is so much movement within the league, so many players have played for these other teams as well. There's so many different subheadings, I guess, or little stories going on behind the scenes. It's really fun to see. Well, Miami so far this season, playing West Coast teams, haven't had it all their own way. They've played West Coast teams so far, 5 times this season, I apologize. The only time they've avoided defeat was against Orange County in their last game against a West Coast opponent. Before that, they'd lost 4 out of 4, 2-1 against Switchbacks, 2-1 against Phoenix, 2-0 against SEFC, but obviously SEFC are on absolute tear this season, and 3-1 against Los Dos.
So we do see a substitution here. Brought to you by RADW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. Will Seymour will come on to replace Justin Portillo. As Seymour, this is a natural position for Seymour as a holding mid. We typically see him a little bit more in the back line for Zach Prince this season, but this is pretty much a like-for-like switch.
Yeah, and he's floated between the two. In the last game, he actually played both positions within 10 minutes of each other, So sometimes, he's definitely been used in centre mid, used at the back, very good in the air, has a threat going forward. Already scored a couple of goals this season. So yeah, it is a like for like, but Portillo, obviously dead ball specialist, will be a miss.
I mean, you can't really overstate just how big Justin Portillo is to this club. He's made 22 appearances this season, which, if I'm doing my math right, that's every game so far. I think he sat out 1 for New Mexico. He's second on the team in goals scored. He's got 6. Nico Brett has 7. He also leads the team in assists as well with 4. And he also leads the team in chances created. And here's the thing in chances created, 47 for Justin Portillo. Daniel Bruce is second, 24. Just half of what Justin Portillo provides.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, Daniel Bruce hasn't played as many minutes. I haven't got the stats in front of me exactly, the comparison between the two there, so that's part of it. But for sure, I mean, Portillo, like I say, takes all of the corners, the number of goals. I can think of, at least off the top of my head, at least 3 or 4 that have been scored direct from corners or free kicks. So yeah, he's, the chances from those, he puts it on a plate. Every time it's like our little game to see who is he aiming for, because it's normally fairly easy to see, because if he's aiming like on Wednesday, Suahi was the first contact on the first 3 set pieces. That's because Justin Portillo was aiming for him.
This is Vallo trying to work his way out of 4 New Mexico defenders, and he does. Ballard switches the play here to the near side. This is Segbers. Back to the Frenchman. Ball takes a deflection, and it's the Greek goalkeeper, Alex Tambakis, coming out to gather that one. So let's just see. It's going to be interesting to see how quickly Will Seymour is able to get in the flow of the game. Obviously, early substitution, so he should still be warm, should still be stretched out, all of that good stuff. But it's just something about being subbed in on a moment's notice like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to. You can see there, Keelan Wright gave him a nice, easy pass. He's had a couple of touches early on. That's what it's about. Get your first couple of touches in there. Make sure that you don't give the ball away, so you have a nice positive impact on the game. Get a feel for the game.
Ballard with a heavy challenge. Foul is called, and no yellow cards issued yet. That might change, just given how physical things have been over the past 10 minutes, I'd say. Fiesta Auto Group free kick. Looks like Seymour has dropped into sort of the back line here. Sawahi getting a little bit more forward on the right side for New Mexico. On the left side, excuse me. It's the Ghanaian Rashid Tete. Looking for Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Here's Bruce. Back to Weehan. And Weehan plays that well over the crossbar into the crowd.
Yeah, I think Daniel Bruce was offside there, so I think he was a little surprised that the flag didn't go up. Then he found himself on his less favoured left foot. Really did, you could see he really didn't want to pull the trigger with his left foot. Rolled it to Chris Weehan, just takes a little bobble right before he hits it.
There's Connor Sparrow. Made 51 appearances for Creighton during his college years. Also played with PDL side, the IMG Academy down in Florida. Tried to backheel it there, did Chapman Page. Well, Chris, we saw a defender try to do that on Wednesday and resulted in the only goal of the night for New Mexico.
Yeah, it was at this end of the field as well. I'm sure they've watched the tape from Wednesday night, so I'm sure he wouldn't want to try that again. But you can see New Mexico United, every single time any one of the Miami players has the ball, especially their defenders, they are pressing very, very high. Clearly something that they decided to do is Miami tried to play out from the back, try and possess the ball. They're really reluctant, it looks like, early on in this game to go big and go very direct. So New Mexico United are taking the opportunity to try and press and try and pin them in and try and win the ball 20, 25 yards from the opposition goal.
Miami unbeaten in their last 3 games, picking up 2 wins and a draw. Coming into this, they were sitting just above the playoff line in the Eastern Conference at 7th place. This here, New Mexico also in the playoff picture on the other side in the West. This is a couple of tough matchups for the black and yellow here within a quick 4-day span.
Yeah, I mean, all the games are coming thick and fast right now. I was looking at Miami's schedule as well. 6 games in this little period here, 5 of them on the road. And yeah, they've had that 10-day break, 2-week break. But still, that's a lot of travel.
Murphy did well to keep that in play, and eventually the swarming defense of New Mexico wins the throw-in. Kiesewetter plays the cross in, and Sparrow has to come and grab that off the hop.
That was a great ball. Kiesewetter did really well to hold off the defender there and just turns and, early delivery into the box. No one from New Mexico United, unfortunately, made the gamble and took the gamble to try and get the run in front of the goalkeeper, in front of Sparrow.
And that was a brilliant turn there from Ballard. That draws the foul, and it's a Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for the visitors in a very dangerous area. Ballard has been all over the place tonight for Miami. Richard Ballard out of Louisville. Made 35 appearances for Louisville City from 2017 to 2019. Also scored 5 goals playing in college as the Indiana Hoosier in 64 appearances. Looks like Vallo and Rivas both standing over this one. Vallo with 2 goals on the season. It's going to be Rivas. And he sends that over Alex Tambakis' crossbar. The reigning title holders visit in-state rivals as the USL on ESPN2 continues. Orange County SC looks for a late-season surge against Sac Republic on Sunday, September 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Here's Seymour looking to get forward and gives the ball away there to Segbers. Chapman Page plays that one out. Sawahi goes to ground. No whistle from Brad Jensen. Kiesewetter also on the ground at the opposite end of the pitch. Sawahi looks to be okay, but Kiesewetter still sitting down near the corner of the 18 on the opposite side. And Kiesewetter, he's on his feet now, but he's walking rather gingerly, Chris.
Yeah, that's a worry. Obviously, you know, missed out on Wednesday due to a knock. We don't know exactly what it is, but stayed down there, and he's definitely not moving as freely as he normally would. And New Mexico United were down to 9 players for a moment there.
This ball goes into the box and dangerous. Therefore, Miami. New Mexico now can counter. Here comes Wehan. He's got options. Kiesewetter making the run ahead and eventually cut out by the veteran Speedy Williams.
It was really well done by Miami FC there, where there was a moment where it was 3v2 in New Mexico's favour, maybe 3v3, and they eventually get 8 guys back behind the ball and just smothered any chance that they had. You can see the movement. I'm sure it's because of Kiesewetter's little knock that he's got. Wehan was begging him to make the run from out to in because he was in the wide left channel trying to run through the middle and just didn't quite do it soon enough, so that just allowed the hesitation there, just allowed Miami to get back behind the ball.
Ballard gets up after drawing the foul there, so it's another Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for Miami. So 30 minutes gone by. Into the 31st minute we go. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on hand in Albuquerque at the lab for this first time battle, East versus West. The Miami FC making the trip out to the land of enchantment here is Murphy able to turn, and Murphy gets a shot off, saved by Tambakis, falls back to Murphy. Here's Williams now, shots blocked by Ryden. Segbers tries a little give and go, and defensively United up to the task, but that was a great opportunity there for Kyle Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy got all of that. He absolutely screamed it, and probably a little bit fortunate for Tambakis, it was right down his throat, because either side of him, and that would have spelled trouble.
Cross goes in. It was Valo that was able to get Rivas got the first touch there. Sparrow almost all the way out to the center circle. Tees this one up for Segbers here on the near side, and Segbers takes down some field signage.
Second time I've seen that today. The red and white Wizards early on today pick up their first win, and the fans took down the advertising boards in their joy. But luckily the ball retriever there got out of the way. He saw him coming.
Sawahi. Ball gets through, and Paco Craig able to clear the danger away. Murphy back for Rivas. He's got options. Kalen Ryden makes first contact. It's a foot race. Ryden turning on the Jets, and it's going to see it out. It's another Bank of America corner kick coming up here for Miami.
It's been pretty scrappy 5-7 minutes since the injury to Portillo, and understandably so. He sets the tempo for the team really, and really struggling to, while the New Mexico United right now sitting at 60% possession basically, but really struggling to get any kind of tempo going with the ball.
A little bit of rain starting to come down here at the lab as some fans heading for some shelter as this corner is played in. Goes to the top of the box. Here's Williams. And skies that one over. No, they're going to say it was deflected, so another corner kick coming up here for Miami. So a little bit of light rain here, Chris. Again, this is sort of what we've been dealing with on and off throughout the afternoon. which is, I will say, has provided for a very mild climate here this evening.
Yeah, I mean, a little better. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? Was absolutely brutally hot and humid here for us. I'm sure people in Miami are like, no, that's not humid. But yeah, for us in New Mexico, it was brutally hot and humid.
The Dade Brigade sitting at home watching this are probably saying, you call that humidity? Here's Rivas. And it's headed away by Kalen Ryden. The golden helmet, as he's known by his teammates. Kalen Ryden with a 94% success rate when it comes to aerial duels, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you break that down, that's 19 out of every 20 headers he's winning.
Yeah, that's how important he is to the team, and he's been called one of the best defenders in the league by his coaches over the past. Troy Lassane thought very highly of him, and it just shows though how well drilled New Mexico United are defensively. Miami had a bunch of opportunities in the last 5-6 minutes or so, but still New Mexico United keeping them at arm's length really. And New Mexico United again still one of the stingiest defenses in the entire USL Championship. And that is, they played 3, 4, 5 games without Kalen Ryden. That's where Seymour just slotted in there and deputized admirably in there.
Ball was played out by the Englishman, Paco Craig. Craig heads that back to Sparrow. So Paco Craig, as we mentioned, the two-time champion with Louisville City, having played there from 2016 to 2019, 111 appearances. Well, during 2020, just before COVID hit, this ball is played forward. Vallo lays it back off for Rivas. Back to Vallo. Looking back post, and that one goes out for a goal kick. But I was saying, right before COVID, February 2020, Paco Craig goes back to England, where he's from. He's out of London. Signs for Wickham. Never actually made an appearance for the club due to COVID. Comes back, and here he is with the Miami FC.
I believe that was the season that Wickham essentially cheated their way to promotion. Not bitter at all as a Sunderland fan there.
As a Tottenham supporter myself, the only thing I remember about Wickham is a 6-1 thrashing in one of the Cups a couple seasons ago.
It's got to be the Martin O'Neill era or something like that.
This is compatriot Callum Chapman-Page out of Manchester. Spent his youth time with Southampton. Throw in here for Miami. So we were talking, Chris, before this match started, and about how similar these two clubs really are when it comes to their defensive form and also their offensive form, for what it's worth. Miami somewhat struggled to score goals. 8 out of their last 9 matches, they scored less than 2 goals. Of course, the one anomaly was their most recent match, beating Loudoun 2-1. But as you mentioned in the pregame, 10 clean sheets on the season.
Yeah, 10 clean sheets, but you can say, goals conceded on the season. New Mexico United 21, but only just beating Miami, who have conceded 23. But yeah, 10 clean sheets. New Mexico United, in comparison, only 5 clean sheets, and that's one of the best defenses in the league. So it just shows that maybe the goals, they come in waves. When they concede them, they come in multiples. So if New Mexico United can get one, chances are Miami maybe try and chase the game a little too much, and you might get a second or a third. But it's getting that first one's going to be the key. In terms of scoring, like I said, 6 games this season where they've failed to score.
Failed to score outright in 6, but I mean it's kind of the same thing for New Mexico, right? The story that we've seen throughout the season is they score a goal early in the match, give up an equalizer late in the match, and they just have trouble getting that second goal. As Vallo plays this one across the box, and All the way to Daniel Bruce, who kicks it off of, can't tell who that is for Miami. I believe that is Rivas down there. So the rain continuing to fall here at the Lab. Into the 39th minute, we are scoreless between the black and yellow and Miami. Akinyode steps in to block that one, the Nigerian.
And New Mexico United, going back to the previous point, they've had 4 games this season where they haven't scored. 3 of those came in a stretch of 3 games in a row. I don't know if you remember. It was the Phoenix Rising, the away game at home against SAFC. See, again, SAFC on an absolute tear this year. And the 0-0 tie with Sac Republic. So, you know, the 3 of those games where they failed to score, other than that little period, New Mexico United have been somewhat able to, in at least each game, be able to get at least 1 goal. And let's see, like, based on what we've seen stats-wise, if they get 1 tonight, then chances are they might be able to get more.
Well, they may have something cooking here. This is the German, Jerome Kiesewetter. Williams calling for it at the back post. Cross goes in, and it's Weehan. Off the volley, sends it over the crossbar. He gives a thumbs up to his teammate. And finally, some good link-up play there for New Mexico.
And it's Kiesewetter. You know, we've talked in the past about Preston Taboataka peeling off into the right channel. This time it's Kiesewetter in this game, and gets his head up and puts a great ball in. You can see Weehan, he just gets ahead of the ball a little bit, so he's having to come back for it just a little bit, and that forces him to put it over the bar.
So we get another look here at this TLC replay, and that's a bit of a tough angle there for Chris Weehan. Now, I'll say I was at training yesterday, got to watch about an hour of training, and we specifically saw them working on set pieces, and Chris Weehan pinged one into the upper 90 that was nearly identical to that. So perhaps that expression you saw after he sent it over the bar was a little reminiscent, knowing that he can do it. You know, he banged that one in and actually got a little bit of applause from some of the media members at training.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It is. It's what you see these guys do in practice, and yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that he has that in his locker. That's for sure.
Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Rivas out of El Salvador. A number of El Salvadorian players on this Miami FC club. Rivas himself, 4 goals in 31 caps for the national team. Here's Craig. Gets it back from Segbers. Looking forward for Vallo, and now we're going to see a yellow card issued to Romario Williams here in the 43rd minute. Is looked to have been a late, maybe a rake across the foot there. It was out of the picture. I wasn't quite sure what happened.
Yeah, it was obviously, you know, everyone was following the ball. It was just as he cleared the ball into the box there, it's Craig. Williams just follows through a little bit and just basically leaves one on him.
Yellow cards are brought to you by Wendy's. If there's a yellow card, New Mexico United fans receive a free breakfast sandwich at participating locations with a qualifying purchase. So this is our TLC replay, and pretty late there. I think he came in studs up. I think that was warranted. So our first yellow card of the evening is the Jamaican Romario Williams. Seymour also having words with our official Brad Jensen. Flicked on here by Segbers. Cross goes in, looking back post, falls to Rivas. Here's Stanley. Akinyote tries to connect there with Rivas and just overhits it.
See, after that initial ball there, New Mexico were a little bit stretched, but managed to get bodies behind the ball and force the wayward pass there in the end.
So there you see current check-in, 78 degrees, humidity in the low 50s. So due to the injury of Justin Portillo, long stoppage, we're hearing that probably to expect about 6 minutes of New Mexico Pinon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. Feels about right, the 6 minutes, I'd say. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XMFC 157 and the SXM app. It's awesome that the league is able to get their product on such a platform as SiriusXM. Looking back, what a ball for Will Seymour. Tries to work his way through, picked away by Akinyote, and Seymour now is going to be shown a yellow card.
He cannot argue with that. He knew exactly what he was doing. Tried to dribble through a pretty crowded area there, got pickpocketed, and in frustration just took his legs out from under him.
So again, yellow cards brought to you by Wendy's. New Mexico United fans, make sure to head over to participating locations tomorrow. Receive a free breakfast sandwich with a qualifying purchase. Akinyote connects here with the Englishman, Callum Chapman Page, my apologies.
It's interesting this first half once again. Daniel Bruce, Harry Schwartz. We mentioned Harry Schwartz earlier on, obviously, but we really haven't mentioned the Englishman's name a whole lot since that chance that he had early on his left foot. Matt really struggling to get high up the field. It seems streaking forward right now from our vantage position. But when he is getting higher, really struggling to get the ball. Everything appears to be down the middle of the field for New Mexico now. Really struggling to get those wide guys involved.
Well, and I don't think it's any surprise that New Mexico, the chances have seemed to become a little bit fewer with Justin Portillo off the field. Here's Rivas on the through ball. Rivas plays it across, and Miami has opened the scoring. It's Kyle Murphy putting the visitors ahead here in first half stoppage time. And all 10,000 plus here at the lab have gone silent.
It's a very, very typical Murphy goal, that one. One touch, just finds a great little area. As soon as the ball is popped out wide to Rivas, just peels off the back post, and he knows Rivas is going to put the ball in a great area. One touch is all he needs. Did a little bit of research, watching some film on him earlier on, and the 20 goals last season for Memphis 901, and how many of those were one-touch finishes? He's deadly in the box.
So Kyle Murphy with his 4th goal of this season. That ties him with the Jamaican Romeo Parks for the team lead. His 22nd appearance, 170th USL Championship appearance. As that's a true number 9 goal, as you said there, Chris. Sawahi beaten at the back post.
That's unfortunately eerily similar to, is it Kako from Sac Republic? Number 7.
Keko.
Keko, sorry, yeah, he scored a very, very similar goal. It was Roro who put the ball on a plate for him, but yeah, a very, very similar goal, their first goal on Wednesday night.
Romario arguing that he was held there by Aiden Stanley. Not going to get the call. And it was definitely a jersey tug, but I don't think anything too malicious. So Kyle Murphy out of Red Hook, New York, breaking the deadlock here tonight as you get a view of an absolutely stunning sky here in Albuquerque tonight. It is monsoon season here in the 505, and we are treated to beautiful sunsets like that routinely. So if you're a Miami supporter thinking about making the trip out to the Land of Enchantment next time, absolutely, we'd love to have you. As the locals say, it is what they like to call New Mexico true. Here's Tete. Can New Mexico answer before the half? Here's Sam Hamilton, back to Tete. Searching for a goal are United. If you'll recall, Chris, the one goal that they scored on Wednesday was just a defensive mishap.
You know, New Mexico United had the ball again. I think it was Sam Hamilton gave away the ball in midfield, and before we could do anything about it, the ball's popped out on the left there with Rivas. Rivas, you know, both teams pretty much playing well back three with wing backs. The Miami FC's wing backs doing a much better job of getting involved and getting high up the pitch, specifically Rivas. Ballard has some wheels as well.
Kiesewetter gets it right back from Williams, plays it out for the Englishman Daniel Bruce. Looking at the cross, and Williams shakes the crossbar. Swartz has that shot blocked, falls to Tete. Here's Kiesewetter again. New Mexico searching for an equalizer. Cross headed out, and Romario Williams is fired up. It's his first start tonight here at the Lab, Chris, looking to bag a goal. That was a great opportunity for the Jamaican.
That was great little bit of play there. Boy, Bruce sprung on the right wing there. Great ball in, put so much pace on it. All Williams has to do is get his head on it. Just can't quite get the direction right.
Wehan plays this one back post, and Sawahi's header is off target. And with that, it's the end of the first half. The visitors on top, 1-0. Chris, your thoughts on the first 45 so far?
All to do for New Mexico United. Miami FC have only failed to win once when they've scored the first goal. So, yeah, all to do for them.
So it's halftime. The score, New Mexico 0, Miami 1, presented by First Financial Credit Union. We get one more look at this sky. So we're going to go ahead and step aside. We'll be back with halftime on the other side of this.
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico. We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family, and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit BIOS in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
There is a place where there are no roads, no conveyances beyond 2 legs or 4. It's a vast swath of land set aside for adventure, for animals, for nature. We're visitors here in America's first designated wilderness, the Gila.
I hear him chat to the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys, man so tough, but mans keep walking. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch me, please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees, I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east.
What's so great about being a Smith's Boost member? Free delivery! Free delivery on the Smith's products you loved. Free delivery on the unexpected stuff you need. And best of all, more rewards, like double fuel points on everything you buy. Experience a new level of membership starting as low as $59 a year with Boost by Smith's Rewards.
Halftime here in Albuquerque at the Lab. New Mexico trails Miami in the first ever meeting. 1-0. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on hand. Halftime brought to you by Smith's, fresh for everyone. And Chris, we've got lots to get into here in this halftime, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. First off, with our standings, as we get a look how things are playing out here in the West. Coming into tonight, New Mexico with Sac Republic hot on their heels. Republic looking to overtake the black and yellow for fourth and host a home playoff game.
Yeah, that game in hand, the game obviously on Wednesday night, a huge result for Sacramento Republic coming into the Lab and picking up that win.
So you see, as you mentioned, San Antonio FC on an absolute tear this year, 50 points, and they're only playing at 21 games. Loyal sitting in second, Switchbacks have fallen off back to third. You see El Paso Locomotive down in sixth. Our news and notes here from around the league. As we mentioned, San Antonio, 50 points. They are the fastest side to 50 points as they equal 2012 Orlando City side. They become the second team in history to reach 50 points in just 21 matches. Birmingham Legion, Matt Van Okel passing 300 saves on Saturday night against Hartford Athletic last weekend. And last but not least, New Mexico hosting the first inaugural Somos Unidos Cup here starting in about 5 days as they're hosting teams from Rayados, Colorado Rapids, and Atlanta United. Our schedule from around the league. This is what we have to look forward to. Red Bulls 2 playing host to Atlanta United 2. Then we'll see this Miami FC team doing battle against Tulsa in the midweek. Elsewhere in the midweek, San Antonio hosting Loudoun and Loyal hosting their in-state rivals, the newcomers Monterey Bay. Friday night, you see Red Bulls 2 hosting Charleston and Switchbacks hosting Locomotive. Our scoreboard here from around the league coming up next. And this is what it looks like. Lou City beating Locomotive 1-0. San Diego Loyal edging out their in-state rivals OC 3-2. New Mexico beating Red Bulls on Sunday 2-1 in New York. And Switchbacks getting blanked by Phoenix Rising 4-0. That a massive scoreline nobody saw coming, I'm sure. Our home schedule looking ahead for New Mexico. Next weekend, they're on the road at LA Galaxy as they get a week off. Then we're right back here as we have another Wednesday, Saturday, as Memphis and Monterey Bay making their first trips out to the Lab and then hitting the road once again, making their way up to Widener Field to take on Switchbacks. And then we're back here for a Friday night clash, the only one of the season here at the Lab. New Mexico hosting their rivals, El Paso Locomotive. Our team of the week here brought to you by Here Audio. Looks like eFootball, excuse me. It's Ben Lunt in the goalkeeper position. There you see Aiden Quinn, Devon Lambert. You see Cuello there from Sac Republic, Bruno Lapa from Birmingham, Milana Lasky. Nico Brett getting the nod from New Mexico United as well. So we're going to go ahead and step aside, catch our breath. We'll be back with more halftime in just a moment.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine.
Halftime here at the Lab. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst on hand as the visitors on top of the black and yellow. 1-0 Miami leading New Mexico. As let's go ahead and jump into our halftime stats. Brought to you by Will Ferguson. As we've got the biggest number here, Chris, if you've circled on our sheet here for the second consecutive game, New Mexico, 0 shots on goal through the first 45.
Shots on target, right? I mean, obviously there's the Williams chance that went off the crossbar, which I'm sure we'll take a look at. But other than that, yeah, it's really unable to test Sparrow. And as we've said, Sparrow, 8 clean sheets so far this season, and unfortunately hasn't had to do a whole lot to preserve that this first half.
New Mexico winning the possession battle, but unfortunately unable to really do much with it. And you see Miami being a little bit more clinical with their finishing chances, scoring the 1 on their 2 shots on target. Halftime highlights brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. We're here for you, and we're here to win. And Chris, and although it's only 1-0 here at the break, not short on highlights throughout the first 45 as Daniel Bruce here on his left foot thought about it. Eventually it was Chris Wehan. Sent a couple of them over in the first half.
You can almost see the thought process of Daniel Bruce there, where he's trying to think about, should I hit it with my left foot? Sees, and Wehan's in a great position, begging for the ball, and unfortunately Wehan just gets the shot a little off.
Chris Wehan looking to further extend his lead as the club's all-time leading scorer. 36 USL Championship goals for Chris Wehan in black and yellow, and the second chance here for. The first chance for Kyle Murphy as Tambakis was able to make a save on that one. New Mexico up to the task defensively, but eventually we would see Miami break through, and the great chance there from Kyle Murphy.
Yeah, and that was probably the one shot, and we said at the time that it was probably lucky that it went straight down Tambakis' throat. This is the other chance for Wehan that you're talking about, just a little bit behind him, so he tries to bring it back. That's such a hard technique to do. You can see both feet off the ground. Really hard to get that on target with it being behind him. But, there's been a couple of chances for New Mexico United from specifically the right-hand side.
Well, New Mexico getting some opportunities in the 6-yard box. This was the breakthrough that I was mentioning just a few moments ago. It was a 4th goal of the season for Kyle Murphy in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage time, lurking at the back post, and that just a simple tap-in.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little deja vu for New Mexico United fans. The ball from the left this time. It's Rivas, wide open at the back. Only needs 1 touch. Really good finish.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be back on the other side of this with the second 45.
For over 45 years, we have been roofing New Mexico. Even though you may not know it, you have been covered by one of our roofs at some point. Now we're bringing the same high-quality craftsmanship that protects New Mexico's commercial buildings into the residential marketplace. Get a commercial quality roof on your home today. National Roofing, local company, national name.
Call 883-3000 or visit nationalroofing.com.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
Game time.
As a first-generation college student, I didn't have the guidance needed to navigate through college, but CNM made that easy for me, and they helped me every step of the way. What makes CNM special is that no matter what your interest is in, they're bound to have it here. You're looking for a certificate, and associates, or even some kind of training, they're going to have that flexibility for you. My time at CNM has showed me that I can dream bigger than what I ever thought I could for myself. At CNM, you're not just a student, you're part of the family.
We're back here at the lab. It's a rainy Albuquerque evening as monsoon season in full effect. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on hand as the Miami FC on top of New Mexico United 1-0 in the first ever meeting between the two sides. Chris, we've got about 90 seconds before the second half starts, so we'll ask you the question we like to ask at this time every broadcast. What changes would you make going into the second half if you're Zach Prince?
I think it's fairly obvious in terms of New Mexico United. The best chances that they've had have come from specifically the right side when they've got the ball wide. It's not happened often enough where they've forced, it's not the biggest field here at the lab, force the Miami FC to defend the full width. And I don't think they've necessarily done a good enough job of that. The other thing is obviously they really struggled once Portillo went off. So finding that rhythm and, just try, as he said, that when Portillo went off, I think they had maybe 62% possession. That went down slightly as the half went on, but they've still got the players on the field, and it looks like they've made a change at halftime here as well. If my eyes aren't mistaken, it looks like Armando Moreno is on the pitch, but finding someone who can dictate that tempo in midfield and really look to get those wide guys involved a little earlier.
Looks like Armando Moreno has replaced Sam Hamilton for New Mexico. That substitution brought to you by REDW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity as the visitors on top through the first 45. Anthony Pulis in his first trip down to the 505. That's Chris Wehan, club's all-time leading scorer. Wehan with 2 shots tonight, none on target. We saw both of those in the halftime highlight reel. As Aquinote in the center circle ready to get us back underway. That is Armando Moreno, making just his 3rd appearance since returning from injury. Second 45 underway here in Albuquerque as New Mexico looks to do, well, what was done to them on Wednesday. Come from behind and win. Unfortunately, the stats don't bode well for the black and yellow. Miami unbeaten in their last 15 USL Championship matches when leading at the half. They've won 13, only drawn twice, going back to June of 2021. That was a 4-2 loss against RGV.
What is good, though, you can see Zach Prince being very proactive. Armando Moreno, the firepower that New Mexico United have on the pitch now in terms of attacking-wise with Schwartz, Bruce, Moreno, Wehan, Williams, Kiesewetter. They've got all the attacking pieces that they need. That, some teams would love those kind of options to try and get back in a game. Now it's just whether they can put the pieces together.
Well, and we're talking about what's on the pitch, and we know Zach Prince loves to make second half substitutions. Just looking at the bench that he's got more options. Preston Tabordataka and Nico Brett, both able to come in and replace Romario Williams or Kiesewetter. So I have a feeling we're going to see the full attack here tonight, the full arsenal, if you will.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought actually, Preston obviously scores the goal, but it was more on a mistake, but he did well to pounce on that mistake and subbed immediately as he was celebrating. And I felt like on Wednesday he was a little more effective. Nico Brett really struggled to get into the game, really struggled in an attacking sense, stayed very central and really struggled to get in the game. So, yeah, but it'll be interesting. Obviously, Nico Brett's goal-scoring record holds up against anyone.
Well, Nico Brett, he's been the leading scorer on his team the last 5 seasons. Ball flicked on by Kiesewetter, but cut out by Chapman Page. Aquinote finds Rivas. Back to Stanley. So we mentioned how good Miami are when leading at the half. New Mexico on the other side of that. Well, they haven't found themselves trailing at the half too often this season. Just 4 times so far. But in those 4, they've come back to win 1 time. They've come back to draw once, and they've lost twice. Seymour ran off the ball. Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for the first time the second half. Ball lofted forward for Williams, and Sparrow has to come out to grab that one.
Yeah, Sparrow did really well there to read that, because it was going to be a little awkward if Williams had just got his kind of body in between Sparrow and the ball. Could have been a really awkward decision for Sparrow. Does he go through the back of Williams and hope he gets contact on the ball, or just let him have it? He'd already committed very, very early there. But yeah, it was a hopeful pass forward.
Tete wins the header there. And Tete again comes through. Generous bounce. Falls to Vallo, who's got Murphy on a brace. And Kyle Murphy further extends the lead for Miami. It's 2-0 here, just 49 minutes in. And New Mexico have conceded out of the half. And the lab, Chris, is shocked.
I mean, it's another one-touch finish. A great little ball into his path, into Murphy's path there. Oh, was it Rivas, I think you said, maybe, who played the ball in there? And it doesn't need a touch. It's just put in such an area where he really only needs one touch and just passes it with pace. And Tambakis is left stranded. And yeah, you can see, United, they look a little flat coming out of half-time here. And you can see the players are now trying to rally around each other to get the energy up in the second half. Big ask now coming back from 2 goals down.
Let's have a look here at this TLC replays. It was Vallo with a great vision as Murphy on the one touch. And that was something that you had mentioned earlier, the number of one-touch finishes that Kyle Murphy has.
He's just got such confidence in his own technique there. And, it's hard at that end of the field here where, there's little bobbles and things like that because of the turf. But, yeah, he just absolutely just rifles it. And really, Tambakis has absolutely no chance.
That is the 5th goal of the season for Kyle Murphy. His 2nd tonight. In New Mexico, they've got some climbing to do if they want to get out of this hole they've dug themselves. Murphy, I mentioned on the first goal he scored tonight, tied Romeo Parks for the team lead in goals. Well, that just overtook the Jamaican. Back to Weehan. Can New Mexico answer? Looking for Moreno. That one's cut out right in. Makes it a point to get to that ball first, and an overlapping run from Kalen Ryden. You don't typically see that too often from the Oklahoma native, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, I mean, overlapping runs from your centre back is, it's going to take something maybe out of the ordinary for New Mexico United to get back into this game.
For Florian Vallo, that was his 6th assist on the season. That leads Miami FC as well. New Mexico with a Bank of America corner kick here, searching for their first goal. It's Daniel Bruce to send this one in. Miami have numbers. Played forward. This is Rivas. Spreads it on a hat trick. And Tambakis was very unsure of that one, Chris.
Yeah, you can always tell, we always say, right, you can always tell by the goalkeeper's reaction. He was scrambling across there, whether it was because he knew it was a corner, maybe he was saving that for the benefit of the doubt, or whether he thought it was maybe sneaking in the bottom corner.
So before this week, New Mexico only had 1 loss at home on the season, and it was to number 1 San Antonio FC. They're staring right down the barrel of their 2nd consecutive loss in 4 days' time. Bank of America corner kick goes back post. Kiesewetter is fouled. $113 teams entered to remain. The 2022 USL League II champion will be crowned as Ventura County Fusion hosts Long Island Rough Riders for the trophy. For more information on how to watch, go to uslleague2.com. So we're hearing word of some looming substitutions here for New Mexico, hoping to give a boost offensively. We'll get to those here in just a moment as we see the fourth officials board start to light up over at the technical area. And it looks like Preston Tabordataka, Nico Brett, and Josh Suggs will be entering for New Mexico shortly. So Zach Prince making some pretty wholesale changes here up top, Chris, coming up.
Yeah, and we mentioned that, you mentioned that you thought that might be the case, and that was probably one of the regrets, maybe, in reflection after the game on Wednesday, was maybe waiting a little too long to unleash, waited a long time to put Daniel Bruce and Armando Moreno. It's Daniel Bruce going off there. But yeah, very, very proactive and have to be in this position.
So we're going to see club captain Josh Suggs make his way onto the pitch out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And then we're going to see the Jamaican Nico Brett and the Cameroonian Preston Tabordataka. So that's all 5 subs used up for Zach Prince. Those substitutions, of course, brought to you by REDW, CPAs, and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity. Well, Chris, 35 minutes to go, a 2-goal deficit, and a brand new front line for New Mexico. Plus, you sprinkle in a little bit of Armando Moreno as well. New Mexico certainly have the firepower to go and get 2 goals over the next 35 minutes. Will they, is the question.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the question. That was the question on Wednesday as well. It's comfortable in possession. At some point I will look up the stats of which players on New Mexico United in each game tend to touch the ball most. Unfortunately, it seems like it's this kind of area. Rashid Tete, Kalen Ryden, Sawahi have a lot of the ball. Chris Wehan has come a lot deeper. So it is a risk. It is a risk because we know that Chris Wehan is going to explode and try and bomb forward from there as well, leaving Seymour pretty much to anchor that midfield by himself. But again, it's risk versus reward, and really, they've got to try and get back in this game.
Well, after going 8 consecutive games without scoring more than 1 goal, Miami have scored 2 now in back-to-back. Here comes the El Salvadorian Armando Moreno. Tries to get a shot off, and it's going to go right into the waiting arms of Connor Sparrow. And now it looks like one of the Miami players has gone down at the top of the 18.
It would look like just as Moreno was taking the shot, I can't see who that is.
Speedy Williams, I believe.
Williams, yeah. So he the follow through from the shot just caught him. I'm sure he'll be fine. But that's not a bad shout though by Armando Moreno. Obviously, there's been some rain tonight. Especially right before halftime there and at the start of the second half here. So getting the ball to bounce right in front of Sparrow, maybe see if he can force a mistake from him, because the stats don't lie. He's a very, very astute goalkeeper at this level.
But Speedy Williams down for Miami. The 30-year-old from Jamaica. He's got 35 caps, scored once for the Reggae Boys, his Speedy Williams. Spent 4 seasons with Louisville City, spent 2 seasons with Red Bulls 2 prior to that. He spent the last 2 seasons here with Anthony Pulis, who's there on your screen, and the Miami FC. Well, Chris, to answer your question, apparently Anthony Pulis can do it on a rainy night in Albuquerque.
I knew you were going to say that. You'd set yourself up for that one.
Speedy Williams walked off by the training staff. You got to remember the difference in altitude coming from Miami, which is sea level, coming to Albuquerque, where some parts of the city are near or above a mile high in elevation. Looks like we're going to see a couple of subs here for Miami. So Speedy Williams, it sounds like will be exiting the match. And indeed, he will be as you see him walk off. That's Palacios and Walker that will be checking in for Miami. Williams hasn't been subbed just yet. So he's allowed to come back on following the injury. Substitution imminent, however. Looks like it's going to happen now with the dead ball. And indeed it will. So Ballard and Williams, their night is done. See Walker and Palacios coming in. Junior Palacios, the Colombian. Lamar Walker, the Jamaican. Walker, another one out here on the pitch who's made 16 caps for the Reggae Boys. He's scored once for his country. Scored 6 times in 25 appearances for Miami last year. Hasn't scored this year, and this is his 16th appearance. Moreno turns. Moreno has his pocket picked by Vallo, and Murphy is looking for the hat trick. He's beaten to the ball by Rashid Tete. We've seen Kyle Murphy only needs one touch. Here's Chris Weehan. Lays it off for Suggs. Cross goes in, and it's Nico Brett. He sends it wide, does the Jamaican.
Again, those wide areas, though, proven fruitful for New Mexico United. Every time they get the ball in those wide areas, we saw Kalen Ryden making that overlap and running into the wide area earlier as well. And whenever they're able to get the ball in the box, it causes issues for Miami to have to defend it.
60 minutes gone by. A brace from Kyle Murphy sees the visitors on top, scoring in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage, and then just 4 minutes out of the halftime break.
What a touch by Zach Prince there, by the way. You see that?
Zach's not afraid to get into training every now and then. I've seen it. Can still ping a ball down as well. It's Ryden. Swahi now. Swahi making his 15th appearance on the season. He scored once for New Mexico. Weehan now. He's got some space. Suggs in front of him. Weehan crosses, going back post, and Preston Taborda-Taka not there. Swartz now looking for a give and go with Preston. Moreno. Here's Moreno. Nico Brett. The hold-up play there. Weehan. Right-footed strike! And it's saved by Connor Sparrow.
I think it hit the post. I really think that hit the post. Look, Sparrow was sprawling up. I'm sure Sparrow hopes I'm wrong as well. Like maybe tipped it on the post, but I really think that absolutely crushed the post there.
Ball lifted in for Preston. Still bouncing around, and eventually it's going to be out for a corner kick. Bank of America corner kick coming up here for New Mexico.
Much better though, right? Much better. You can see there the little give and goes, little movement every time. We talked about really early on, if you remember Harry Schwartz, where he played the ball, where he got the bloody nose. We talked about how as soon as he moved the ball, he moved himself really quickly. It's the first time we've really seen it for a while. And it was Chris Weehan, and you want the ball at Chris Weehan's foot about 18 yards out.
Corner goes in, goes back post, cleared away. Here's Suggs. And Suggs got every bit of that off target.
I think it was deflected. Stanley, I believe it was, got his head on it, and you can see he's kind of checking that everything's, he can still see.
So another Bank of America corner kick coming up here for the home side. Weehan gives the signal. Has that one headed away third consecutive corner kick coming up here for New Mexico. Taking quickly, and shot goes in to Sparrow. No issue there.
First real time, though, that Miami's had to deal with any kind of, sustained pressure from New Mexico United there. 3 corners in a row, and I love the last one as well, where they'd switched off just ever so slightly then. Preston and Weehan decide to take one quickly, and Preston tries to fire that shot and see if he can catch Sparrow off at the near post.
Vallo was looking for Walker. Falls to Palacios. He's ran off by the El Salvadorian Armando Moreno. And no, the foul is going to be called, and a yellow card issued to Junior Palacios. Yellow card brought to you by Wendy's here in the 65th minute. New Mexico United fans, head over to participating locations. Pick up a free breakfast sandwich with a qualifying purchase. So Junior Palacios picks up the yellow. By my count, that is the third yellow we've seen here this evening. Weehan. Seymour back for Preston. Cross goes in now. Still bouncing around. Swartz goes to ground. Right in now. New Mexico pressing heavily for a goal. Here's Moreno dribbling through traffic and has his pocket picked.
You can sense the urgency every single time New Mexico United get the ball, and that's Chris Weehan defending near his own 18-yard box there. Just throwing players forward. Got to be careful not to get caught on the break, because you've got to say one more goal and this game is for sure dead and buried if Miami get it. But New Mexico throwing everything and the kitchen sink at Miami right now.
Great touch from Preston. Preston just a little too heavy there on the second touch. New Mexico have to be careful that they're not caught out. I don't think Miami wants to turn this into a track meet at a mile high in elevation.
No, for sure. But I was just thinking when seeing Armando Moreno, easy for me to say, bursting from a little deeper than where he maybe normally played in the past, but bursting from midfield, just his tenacity in midfield. He's not afraid to run with the ball. And he's just a bundle of energy. It's great to see him back in the team.
Preston. And the shot is off target, looking to score in his second consecutive home match. Preston Tabordataka. He scored his second goal on the season, his first at the Lab last match. We mentioned tonight's match brought to you by NM811. Don't forget to call 811 before you dig and save the day. NM811 also supplied 5,000 clap banners for fans here this evening. So that is the sound you're hearing in the stadium right now, which, again, already one of the most raucous atmospheres in USL Championship, just being amplified. Supporters section packed to the gills tonight as New Mexico in search of just their fourth home win on the season. Things not looking good here in the 68th minute as they trail 2-0. It's a brace from Kyle Murphy. Weehan dials that one up, and what a save from Connor Sparrow. Just give him save of the week already.
Yeah, Sparrow, we talked about at halftime saying he hadn't been tested enough. He has earned his money in the second half already. And again, ball falls to that man again. Chris Weehan, top of the box, and he has an age to line up and think about what he's going to do. Picks his spot, and who's there but Sparrow to palm it away.
Bank of America corner kick. Here's Chris Weehan. Connor Sparrow up to the task.
There's a definite change, though. Yeah, it's great to see the reaction. Obviously, the goals that they've conceded tonight, New Mexico United, very disappointing, and I'm sure they'll be disappointed in those. But it was really hard to see where a goal was coming from on Wednesday night. Really struggled to create those open chances tonight. The chances have been there. Now it's can they take one of them? But that's a great sign. Like the sign that the chances are actually coming against a decent defensive team as well.
Swartz goes to ground, draws the foul. It's another Fiesta Auto Group free kick. Taken quickly. Preston is judged to have been out of play before he made contact. "70 minutes gone by. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on hand at the lab in Albuquerque. Had a little bit of rain in the first half into halftime. It's been clear skies here throughout the second 45 thus far. Did have about a 15-minute delay here in starting tonight's match due to some lightning in the area. And Walker is through on goal. Ryden tracking back and able to make the play defensively. But that is not what you want to see if you're Zach Prince, a free-running Lamar Walker.
Yeah, no, and did well to recover. And, ball just gets stuck under his feet just a little bit there, so the chance is gone. But, a little breathing room for Miami's defense, because they've been under quite a bit of pressure over the last 5, 6, 7 minutes there. So a chance for them, a little bit of respite, and see if they can put this game to bed.
Lamar Walker scored 6 times in 25 appearances last year for Miami FC, looking for his first goal on the 2022 campaign. Bank of America corner kick, it's Vallo. Ryden missed on the header, and Tambakis comes up to grab it for New Mexico. Weehan. Moreno gets it back. Preston now inside the 18. Blocked cross goes back to Swartz. Has that one partially blocked. Tete gives it away. Sawahi. Miami packing 8 to 9 players back here, Chris, and just telling New Mexico, come and break us down.
Yeah, and line share, second half, 65% basically of the possession, New Mexico United. But again, the positive thing is it's been more to the middle, to the attacking third, rather than I'd say in the first half it was more defensive third to the middle third. Definitely more attacking impetus, partly due to the situation. But it's good that they're able to keep the ball still in those areas. But yeah, it's going to be very, very hard to break down Miami, because you can see as the ball comes out, they have no interest in stepping out. They're about 20, 25 yards from the top of their 18-yard box, making sure that there's no space in behind them for anyone to run into. Exactly, asking the question, can you break us down?
And really only Kyle Murphy coming past the halfway line at that. Let's see if the playmakers of New Mexico United can get it done as the cross dealt with there momentarily. New Mexico still in possession. Preston with a step over. A miscommunication there. Suggs made the run, but the offside flag goes up, and Sparrow looks to be in a bit of pain as some of the Miami players come around to huddle around Josh Suggs, and the captain shown a yellow card.
I was a little unlucky there for Suggs. You could see what he was trying to do. The ball was played in behind, and the ball just skipped a little bit, so it gave Sparrow the advantage when that ball skipped, but he thought he could have maybe just got a little nick on the ball to redirect it past him.
74th minute yellow card presented by Wendy's. Make sure to head over to participating locations tomorrow. Pick up a free breakfast sandwich with a qualifying purchase, as Connor Sparrow getting looked at by the training staff. Sparrow spent some time in MLS, made a few appearances, 9 for Nashville SC, 1 for Chicago Fire as well. Actually made those appearances for Nashville when they were still in USL. He's been signed with Miami since January 21st of 2021. St. Louis, Missouri native. So we have another look here. Suggs, you can tell, just making the run, and a little bit of a collision there.
Yeah, and you can see he pulled out of the challenge. You know, it could have been nasty, you know, if he'd flicked his foot around the corner to really try and connect with the ball. I think he knew he was in a losing race there, losing battle there. But I mean, Sparrow's he's not silly, is he? He's trying to get his field players, his teammates, a little bit extra breather here.
Replays tonight brought to you by TLC Plumbing. TLC is the leader in New Mexico when it comes to home and business service needs. So New Mexico being held scoreless here through the first 75 minutes. We've just heard the official attendance here for tonight. Over 11,000 on hand here at the lab watching this first-time matchup between Miami and New Mexico. 11,024 to be exact. So we're going to see a couple of substitutions here for Miami. Entering the match are going to be 2 forwards, Reed and Romeo Parks. Romeo Parks coming on, making his debut at the lab. Although he played here in 2020, he was not able to play here at home as New Mexico played every match on the road that season. Parks played hero a little bit for New Mexico late in 2020 against El Paso, particularly in that second round playoff matchup as he scored in the dying seconds. And of course that game going to penalties where Romeo Parks had his penalty saved by Logan Ketterer.
It's crazy to think that this is the first time he's been able to play in front of the New Mexico United fans. You know, that is obviously what a lot of players, when they do join this team and they join this organization, this is what they talk about. They want to play in this venue in front of these fans. So it's a shame that he was never able to do it in the black and yellow. But obviously New Mexico United hoping that they don't see him score for Miami tonight.
Ball goes into the box over the head of Paco Craig, and I was actually down pitch side. I was actually right next to the tunnel when the Miami players arrived, and this is Parks on his first touch. Parks holds it up, lays it off. Craig has that one blocked, falls back to Romeo Parks. Here's the Jamaican. Parks goes across the face of goal, and it's Alex Tambakis coming out to grab that. And already the Jamaican heavily involved. But again, as I was saying, I was down pitch side at the tunnel as they walked out, and Romeo Parks was the first one out of the tunnel, leading the Miami side out. And you know, he had his headphones in, but as soon as he walks out of the tunnel, first thing he does is just starts looking up and looking around. And you can tell, just admiring the beautiful stadium here that New Mexico are fortunate enough to play in. And sure, perhaps a little disappointed he wasn't able to play here in front of 11,024 fans like we have here tonight. Again, our official attendance as New Mexico leads the league in average attendance, and this, a gift for Romeo Parks against his former club as Kalen Ryden has conceded the goal, and it's 3-0 Miami lead here at the Lab.
Yeah, wow, it was just a little indecision there. Kalen Ryden and Alex Tambakis, they just got a little too close to each other. Kalen Ryden waiting for Tambakis to come deal with it. Tambakis waiting for Ryden to deal with it. Tries to play a pass, and like I say, they were just so close to each other. It was just a recipe for disaster there, and Romeo Parks just rolls the ball into an empty net.
Romeo Parks notching his 5th goal of the campaign. That ties the 2-time goal scorer tonight here, Kyle Murphy, for the team lead. As Romeo Parks wasted no time scoring his first goal here at the Lab, coming on as a sub in the 77th minute, scoring just 2 minutes later. And the Jamaican stretching the lead for the visitors. 3-0 here in the 80th minute.
Yeah, that is not one that Kalen Ryden will want to see back, or Alex Tambakis, like I say, just so close to each other, and the obviously a miscommunication of some kind. And the benefactor was Romeo Parks, and didn't really celebrate, showed a little respect to the New Mexico United faithful. But I'm sure he's very pleased that obviously gets on the score sheet seconds after getting on the field.
Suggs tried to cross in. It falls back for Will Seymour. Here's Moreno. New Mexico looking to pull one back here late. And just as we've seen over the last couple of games, Chris, goals hard to come by during the run of play.
Yeah, I think of all people, that was Sawahi who ended up popping in at the back post there. And honestly, I'd love to see that back there, because ball was great ball in. I think it was Preston Tabor-Ataka who just got to the end line and put a vicious cross across the 6-yard box. Miami defenders don't want to touch it. And again, I think it was Sawahi who just got a little bit ahead of the ball, so it was just a little bit behind him, a little too eager there. But it was another opportunity.
We're back underway here, and New Mexico looking to at least pull one back here over the final 10 minutes. Sort of a consolation, I suppose. Here's Suggs. Cross goes in. It's dealt with accordingly by Miami. So just doing a little bit of research here. In 2019, New Mexico lost at the Lab 3-0 to the hands of Sac Republic. And from what I can tell, that was the worst home loss in club history. So Miami looking to equal that here tonight.
Interesting there, the ball was fired into Nico Brett then. Went down. I don't think there was much contact at all. It was more a plea than anything else. But the coaching staff of New Mexico United are certainly asking the question of the fourth official.
So New Mexico, as we mentioned, 2020, they played no games at home the entire season. So 2019, they had 3 losses at home. Last season, just 1 loss at home. Already staring at the 3rd home loss of the season here with 11 matches to go. And it's something that we've talked about, Chris. The home form for New Mexico has been lacking as this cross is cut out. I believe that was Paco Craig, the captain, the Englishman. Bank of America corner kick coming up here.
Yeah, and that's, a 500 home record is obviously not what you want. Like you build your foundation of your season on your home record. Obviously, they were able to do the Road Warriors in that season, but it's they certainly don't want to continue that vein. They do. They have.
The header saved there by Sparrow. What an incredible one-handed save there. That one was going upper 90.
He's given a goal kick, so I have to assume that maybe hit the crossbar. But yeah, going back to it again, it looks like optical illusions from the opposite end of the field are messing with us today, right? But yeah, it's it's not rocket science. The home form, is obviously the concern right now, especially when you have so many fans that turn up week in, week out. But there's another look there, and yeah, it does. It just crashes the crossbar again. So that's the second crossbar. Chris Weahan hit the post earlier on as well. That's it. It's been one of those nights, unfortunately, for New Mexico United.
Weahan. Here's Nico Brett. Lofting this one in for the run of Josh Suggs. Connor Sparrow comes out to grab it. This is Tete. 5 minutes plus stoppage remain. You know, and for New Mexico, Chris, this could be just a case of fatigue, right? I mean, over the last 2 weeks, New Mexico, they've made a couple of trips across the country, New York, Detroit, back again to Albuquerque, 2 games in a week. Miami's been off that entire time.
For sure. I mean, you know, that can do one of two things, right? You know, Miami obviously off the back of a win, you probably want a game immediately to continue that run. But yeah, I mean, you know, a rest is a rest. I'm sure they had some time off and really do regenerate a little bit. But New Mexico United, they've rotated enough, I would say, where it shouldn't. I mean, yeah, it always traveling. It's not just the games, it's the travel, not sleeping in your own bed. You know, the routine changes when you're out of town. But there've been enough changes versus on Wednesday on Sac Republic, and then again today as well. 4 changes today? It was 3 on Wednesday. It should be fresh enough, you would say. It's just, you know, Miami's just very dogged in the way that they defend. Anytime that New Mexico United has got a real sniff, obviously the crossbar and the post have done a job for them. Also, how many, you know, last-ditch tackles, sliding clearances, saves have Miami been able to do. So, you know, right now they've earned that clean sheet.
New Mexico, as I mentioned, staring at their 3rd home loss on the season. Second one coming just a few days ago on Wednesday. It was Sac Republic scoring twice in a span of 4 minutes following a New Mexico goal. New Mexico, their first home loss on the season came at the hands of San Antonio FC. That was in late April. A 1-0 win for the visitors. So as it stands right now, New Mexico have been shut out. 2 of their 3 home losses. Sawahi cuts in. The Colorado Springs native, Will Seymour. Seymour scored his first USL Championship goal just 6 days ago at New York Red Bulls 2. This one goes out for a Bank of America corner kick. 88th minute. Weahan takes a touch, fires that one in. Harry Swartz, and Swartz sends that one off to the side.
Yeah, at least as it stands right now, obviously I believe San Diego, halftime with San Antonio. Phoenix is in Las Vegas tonight as well. That's still a game that's going on. But as it stands right now, Connor Sparrow is going to go at least tied for the best in the league with clean sheets. Right now he's sitting on his 9th clean sheet of the season already.
Get another look here at this TLC replay. Looks like one more substitution here for the visitors before we close things out. Dennis DeWuna checks in as he replaces Callum Chapman-Page. DeWuna out of Ghana. He and Rashid Tete, the 2 Ghanaians, on the pitch right now. Ryden finds Sawahi. The crowd trying to will the black and yellow to at least one goal here this evening. Seymour finds Swartz. The New England native Harry Swartz. Swartz making his 20th appearance here on the season this evening. Ryden now. Lofts this one into the box and goes out. It's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, when things are going wrong, they just go wrong, right? Yeah, I think when does deserving anything ever mean anything? But you'd say New Mexico United have probably done enough to get on the scoreboard today. The problem, which has not been the case for the majority of the season, the problem's been at the other end. Like I say, the third goal is just the cherry on top, unfortunately, which, you know, the miscommunication, and it's just a howler, unfortunately. But yeah, when it goes wrong, and unable to find the back of the net at one end, and just some really poor goals given away at the other, and this is the result.
So there, we've been alerted 6 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. Fans starting to head for the exits here, Chris. You can see some of the lights on in the parking lot across the street as Miami on the way to equal, handing New Mexico their worst home loss in club history, equaling a 3-0 defeat at the hands of Sac Republic in June of 2019.
Can't be understated. I feel like the turning point of the match was unfortunately the Justin Portillo injury. Remember that in the first half, where again in the engine room for New Mexico United, he's just so important on keeping the ball moving and making things tick. And you know, losing him in the stoppage, it really did jolt New Mexico United going into half-time, conceding right before half-time, and then they just weren't able to drag themselves out of it coming out after the break.
Moreno tries to squeeze this one through. Seymour. And Seymour hits this out of play. Yeah, you said it. I mean, you concede on either ends of the half. It's really hard to bounce back from that. And then just a lapse in focus, I guess, is what you would call it, between Kalen Ryden. Never see that from Kalen Ryden, for what it's worth.
Yeah, and you know, and the other two finishes, let's not take anything away from Murphy either. Two great finishes, two good goals if you're the Miami persuasion, right, where just one-touch finishes because the entry pass into him was just so good, he didn't even need to take a touch.
Walker tries to take on Sawahi, still in possession. Akinyode. This is Williams.
Tell you what, Josh Suggs went absolutely flying into a tackle there. Already on a yellow card after that. The tackle earlier on Sparrow. Has to be very careful there.
Apologies, I said it was Williams. It's actually Reed. Down pretty easily there was Reed once again. Miami happy to just milk the clock here as a yellow card is shown to Harry Swartz. Yellow card brought to you by Wendy's. Go pick up a free breakfast sandwich tomorrow. Participating locations with a qualifying purchase. Well, for United fans, that free breakfast sandwich, Chris, may be perhaps the only solace they find in tonight's match.
It's been a bad night at the office. I mean, there's no getting away from it. And you know, 11,000 plus fans. There's some people have obviously taken advantage. Late kickoff. You wonder how much that, affected again, it's the routine, right? The routine is affected when there's a little delay, and then there was the stoppages in play. There's been so much stoppage time in both halves as well because of all the stoppages. So you wonder how much that's affected the stuff as well.
Romeo Parks stripped the ball off of Seymour, and now Miami looking to hold possession here and just waste more time. I wouldn't even call it wasting time. They're up 3-0 here in stoppage. Just looking to see this one out, really.
Yeah, and everything's gone flat, right? Everyone's just waiting for the referee's whistle at this point. The crowd has gone very, very quiet. And yeah, there's just not... It's delaying the inevitable, unfortunately, at this point.
You could hear a pin drop inside the lab here right now. Moreno looking to give the fans hopefully something to cheer about before they go home here tonight for sticking out this full 90 minutes. Here's Preston, cross into the box, and Sparrow grabs it off the skip.
He just gobbled that one up there. Like, that had a lot of pace on it, and it bounces just in front of him. He made that look so easy, and that was a very, very difficult ball to handle there. And that's the standard he set tonight.
Well, and you mentioned earlier how much more involved Chris Wehan was, how much more fluid the offense looked for New Mexico. Chris Wehan created 5 chances tonight. That's the first time he's created at least 5 chances in a match since September of last season. So it just tells you the lack of involvement that he's seen this season. Ball played forward for Walker. Into the final minute of stoppage time we are. As Ryden plays this one out, it's going to be a throw in here for the visitors. And Walker's going to be shown a yellow card for time wasting. So one more shout out to Wendy's before full time here. Getting their money's worth for the yellow card sponsorship here tonight, I'd say. Parks plays that one out. And this may be the last possession here of the match. Preston making the run. Still Preston. Finds Nico Brett. Can New Mexico pull one back here before full time? Brett goes back post. Headed out for a corner. We'll get the opportunity for the corner here, and this is most likely our final kick of the evening. Past the stoppage time mark by more than 30 seconds. Preston sends this one deep. Back post. Nico Brett! And that one goes over the crossbar. And that is the full-time whistle here at the Lab. Miami victorious for the first time in the 505, handing New Mexico a 3-0 loss. That equals the worst loss at home in club history, Chris. Real quick, your thoughts here following full-time.
Yeah, I mean, the final chance there, it just kind of sums up the evening for New Mexico United. Nico Brett just clips the crossbar and that's, I believe, the 4th time New Mexico United did that tonight.
Chris Wehan taking home our play of the match honors. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra for his 4 shots this game. Chris Wehan, also our man of the match winner, presented by Pepsi. As we mentioned, 5 chances created, had the highest expected goal rate here tonight for New Mexico. And the save of the match presented by Invigorate Roofing is going to go to Alex Tambakis for his save in the 31st minute. Does have 12 shutouts here on this season, which is the most clean sheets in New Mexico United history. All in all, a tough night for New Mexico. We're going to step aside to wrap things up here. We'll be back in just a moment.
From day one, REDW has been an integral partner and one of the first companies to say yes to the crazy idea of this soccer team that we all love. Because of REDW's belief, support, and expert financial guidance, United is in a better place today. Their focus on community-first initiatives is perfectly aligned with United's ethos. When they say integrity counts, they mean it, and we are forever grateful and thrilled to be partnered with REDW.
Full time here at the Lab. Tonight's Duke City Cares final score, Miami FC 3, New Mexico United 0. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here. Chris, let's go ahead and have a look at the full-time highlights presented by Will Ferguson and Associates. We're here for you, and we're here to win. Well, 3-0 for the visitors. New Mexico had their chances early on, mainly Chris Wehan.
Yeah, it was good. Had a lot of chances from wide areas, and chances like that, and that one just go over the bar. It was just behind him a little bit when it came to him, but this is the goal. Little one-touch finish, great ball into Murphy at the back post. Deja vu for New Mexico United, having a man over at the back post, unfortunately. And yeah, what a great finish that was, but ball put on a plate for him.
That was Kyle Murphy in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage time. And then New Mexico had a great chance. It was Romario Williams rattling the crossbar before the end of the first half as New Mexico looked to answer, but they just couldn't find a goal here for whatever reason tonight, Chris.
Yeah, and a combination of a goalkeeper in Sparrow in great form, and here's the second goal as well, where another one touch by Murphy, but yeah, combination of crossbar, post, Sparrow. New Mexico United just couldn't find a way through, but another great ball, didn't need a touch to set himself, left foot finish first time. And it was a long way back for New Mexico United from there.
Kyle Murphy scoring goals 4 and 5 on his season so far. That ties Romeo Parks for the team lead. And this was an absolute shot by Chris Wehan. As you can see, he goes both hands to his head as soon as it bounces off the post there. From our vantage point, it looked like Sparrow may have gotten a hand to it. There you see just how cleanly Wehan was able to get the strike. And this, another opportunity for Wehan.
Yeah, Wehan played like a man possessed tonight. He was involved in everything good that New Mexico did going forward. Had several chances. Like I say, the post denies him, Sparrow denies him. It was just one of those nights for him.
Chris Wehan created 5 chances here for New Mexico that led the side this evening. With a side that lacked their main playmaker, Justin Portillo. And this, well, that's a clip to forget for Kalen Ryden. Is he just... All that ball was missing was a bow tie on top and a little tag saying to Romeo Parks from Kalen Ryden.
Yeah, and it was a miscommunication. You see how close the goalkeeper and the centre-back get there. Tries to play a ball thinking that Sam Backus is going to step onto it to clear it. Romeo Parks reads it and just passes it into an empty net. And you can see by his reaction, Ryden, hands in his head in his hand, and just wants nothing to do with watching that one back.
Romeo Parks is the first former player to score against New Mexico United here at the Lab. He did so after only 2 minutes on the pitch. As we mentioned, Miami 3-0 over United. This equals the worst home loss in club history, which ties a 3-0 defeat at the hands of Sac Republic back in 2019. We've got some full-time stats here to look at before we get out. And this, Chris, 20 shots for the black and yellow, only 2 of them on frame.
Yeah, but again, 3 off the crossbar, 1 off the post, so that's how close they were. With 20 shots, 16 of those in the second half. So you want to find out if New Mexico United, if there was a reaction in terms of attacking intent in the second half. There was. Unfortunately, they left the back door open and Miami were able to capitalize with 2 of their own.
So Miami will be making the trip out to, actually they're going to be hosting Tulsa on Wednesday coming up. New Mexico will be hitting the road to take on Los Dos, and then we're back here in just a couple of weeks, Wednesday, Saturday. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. Miami victorious in their first trip out at the Lab. For Gary Williams, our director, Chris Hurst on color, my name's Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Back to Weehan. And Weehan plays that well over the cross. Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Here's Bruce. Back to Weehan. And Weehan plays that well over the cross. Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Here's Bruce. Looking for Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Here's Bruce. Back to Weehan. And Weehan plays that. Looking for Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Here's Bruce. Back to Weehan. And Weehan plays that well over the cross. Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Here's Bruce. Back to Weehan. And Weehan plays that well over the cross. Daniel Bruce. Flag stays down. Here's Bruce. Back to Weehan. And Weehan